It's the Urban Bachelor Show, coming to you live, featuring the most dapper, debonair, and distinguished men in the DFW Metroplex. Watch, listen, learn, and be entertained. Who knows, one of them may be your love connection.
We are excited to get started. I am Dr. G. I am your success psychologist and relationship doctor. I am so excited to have everybody here joining us. And I am the host of the international podcast, Single Life with Dr. G, dating over 40. And this is a spin-off of the Single Life with Dr. G, because guess what? I am here to help you stay sane in the crazy world of dating. And there's no better way to help bring people together than to get the men and the women together so we can have the conversation. So that's what we're doing tonight. And I'm excited that you're a part of our premiere show called the Urban Bachelor. Tonight we have 4 amazing and incredible bachelors. And guess what? We put them on the hot seat. Y'all ready? Yeah. Look at Jerry. Give him a napkin, somebody. So, we're going to get started by allowing them to introduce themselves to you.
Okay, what's up? Okay. Jerry Brooks from Syracuse, New York. Been here since like 97 off and on, but in and out. It's like that, yeah.
Okay, and then we'll have Jeroil.
I'm Jeroil Nash, born and raised here in Texas. I'm a Dallasite, love my home, came back to it after doing a career in product detection. Now I'm a chef, own my own catering company. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening.
Hello, I'm Michael Layton, Arkansas, Texas family. I've been in Dallas for about 20 years. I'm retired military and real estate, and life is good.
I'm Fred Matthews. I'm from St. Louis. I've been like 5 years. I work in a plane on everything that has good or bad feet. I'm actually a foot doctor, so I think that I got to go with me.
Hey. Okay. So guys, we're going to get started because this is on the mind of everybody in here. We got a lot of questions for you all. But I want you to first start out by saying if you have ever been married, divorced, how many kids you have, that kind of information. Because some of the questions had to deal with the fact of, yes. So, take it away, whomever. Tell about we want to know all your business, basically.
Okay. I was common law married for about 20 years. I got probably 10 alleged kids. Only one legitimate one.
Remind me to feed you something special to make it.
Okay, all right.
I am widowed.
never been married. I'm a 3-time offender, 2 daughters and a son. But I believe in the concept, so who knows?
Okay. Now, I have a lot of questions. And I told you ladies, I'm gonna try to get to as many questions as we possibly can.
Ain't nobody asking that question, but I did. I did for a
Do
living.
y'all wanna know what he did for a living?
Yeah!
I played professional baseball for 13 years.
Woo!
Long time ago, but I played professional baseball for 13 years. In the major leagues, huh? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't feel bad when a professional player tell me I was wrong. Okay, the next question. What are the qualities and what type of women are you looking for? What are the qualities? Anyone, however you want to answer.
For me, first of all, God-fearing, first of all. Second of all, independent. You know, if I'm sick, you know, at least she can cook some soup or hot dog or something. I want someone that I can, you know, trustworthy. That's big with me too, trust.
I want to be as comfortable as possible. I want someone who, one, can make me feel better off with them than without them. I mean, we all have fun, that's great, that's cool, but just because you show up and we have a little fun, that's not enough. I want you to make me feel like I'm looking forward to spending that time with you. I want you, I mean, I do have some physical preferences as well, but you look attractive. I want you to be fun. I want you to be somewhat uninhibited. And I want you to be so, like, you know, if you're my friends, you have to serve. You know how to, you know, be cool and fun. But also, when we get home, you got me covered. But we have a lot of fun. We want to be together. So I want that kind of person.
For me, I think and not any disrespect to any of you ladies out there, but I think I'm a special order guy. And the reason why I say I'm a special order is because I want a woman that's real. And what I mean by real is not the term that everyone throws around so easily, like people throw the words love and friendship around. I want someone that I can talk to about what the hell up. It doesn't matter what it is. Comfortable, uncomfortable, we can talk about it, we can discuss it. And also, I like a woman that likes to get a little dirty. I like a woman that doesn't mind being outside. I mean, for lack of a better term, I'm a black redneck. I love horses, I love shooting, hunting, fishing. I love being outside, I love being outdoors. I like doing all those types of things.
Not to piggyback, but that's one of my things too, as far as meet someone and not afraid to do something different or something outside their necessarily comfort zone, like maybe fishing. And we were talking about this in the back. That's me. I like to fish. I like to be outdoors. Like to do all of that stuff. But also, I want somebody that makes me feel comfortable. That don't have to be something that I'm not. You know what I mean? Because I'm feeling like if I'm not what your expectations are out the gate, then it might not go any further. But you know, I don't know, because sometimes people put restrictions on people. Like, hey, I want somebody 6'5". I want somebody this. I want somebody that. I just want somebody to make me feel comfortable with being with them, and I can open up and be myself. That's it. No type. No type.
Yeah, so I guess the no type means that all women, you are open to dating all women.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what shape, size. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like they don't have to be 5'7".
Okay. So somebody asked a question. So at this point, and we're all over 40. Does age matter to you all? Because a lot of times we hear that men like younger women and they go after younger women. And so I hear men saying, well, yeah, your expiration date is coming up and all of this extra stuff. I'm like, what y'all talking about? So does age matter? That was one of the questions.
For me, no. I mean, let me. official. Let me reel that back in. Let me go ahead and reel that back in. I mean, if she's old enough to be my mother, probably not. Okay? And if she's young enough to be, like I said, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one because
I would jump in and help him.
go ahead, help me, brother.
Age does matter. Older guys don't want anything. Younger, we want to have a good time. If it's more, let's make it more. But we're not looking up any set age. There's no age limits. It's just who's making me feel appreciated. But you can't come to me and like make me feel guilty about me being outside. So we're open to whoever is going to make us feel welcome. So we're not looking for the 25-year-old or the 45-year-old. We're looking like, hey, let's get to know each other, let's enjoy each other. If it goes there, it goes there. But we're not just looking for the young girl. But if we only want to have fun, well, why not have fun with 25, with 45, and get over it mad? So it's determined.
So you're saying, what I heard you say was that you're really looking for a woman to make you feel a certain way. And age is not that factor. It's just the woman.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Did all of us answer that question?
Well, whoever wants to answer.
Did you say it? No. No. Did you answer it already? It sounds like all of us are saying the same thing. Feel someone who you feel comfortable with, regardless of age. You know, that's what he ended with.
So if I was 70,
I didn't say it came with something. I didn't say no. What I addressed was older guys going younger. I did not address, no, I'm not going to say it.
okay, well,
No, what I said was, your question, you made a comment about older guys going younger.
okay, we'll take that. Yeah, I think because it's always the issue, feeling like that the younger woman is the one that you're going after, but since that's not the case, we're glad to know that.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so let me
We
wrap
wanted them to
this.
like us kind of for who we were.
So let me wrap this so that we can certainly say, first of all, everybody does have their own experience. These guys are talking from their experience, so they're not speaking for the whole manhood out there. So different men have different experience and different ones have different likings. So it's good that we're having this conversation because to some, age may matter, to others it may not. So we can't stroke everybody with the same brush. So I want to kind of lead us into a different path because this is going to really tell us something about you. The question came, have you ever had the one that got away? And if so, why did you let her get away? Woo, and that's a good question. We're going to take you down another pathway. Guys, who had somebody that got away?
I actually, I had the one that got away, but luckily, I caught her.
Oh, okay.
And that was my late wife. We were friends forever, and it always seemed to be like a timing issue or some life issue or whatever the case was. And then at the time, and honest to goodness, I felt like the good Lord he really gave me grace and favor, and he brought me back into her wheelhouse. And at the time when it happened, I told her what I wanted, she told me what she wanted, and we built something that was amazing. And ladies, thankfully, I'm back at the point in my life where I'm ready to do some good.
All right. Ladies, you hear that? Do you hear that? Okay, any other man?
Yeah, I definitely, I'm not gonna say let the one get away, I let a couple get away. And I mean, and the reason is, you know, at the time, I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? I've met some incredible women in my lifetime. I mean, but, you know, if you're not ready, then, you know, there's no reason to go down that path. But I mean, I found myself at a later age, like I am now, you know, that I have the patience, the maturity, you know, the wherewithal now, finally, because I've done a lot in my lifetime. I mean, I've managed comedy clubs, I've played professional basketball, I've been in the military, I mean, I can go on and on. I have a resume. But I can say I've let a couple get away, doctor. But can I go back? I don't really go backwards. That's just kind of my thing. I mean, if I messed it up, I messed it up, you know. So when they want to go back, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I'm in a good place right now.
Okay.
I'm a bachelor, and bachelor means, a lot of people say bachelor, they think you're a playboy, you got all these women, you're single, you're dating multiple women. That's not the case. If you do your history, bachelor basically means you're not married. That's what bachelor means. But can you be single and date multiple women? Yes. Can you be single and date one woman? Yes. Can you be single and date nobody? Yes. So, you know, it's just, you know, your path.
Okay. So on that note, the question came in about commitment. So a lot of ladies want to know, at this stage in life, why does it seem difficult for men to commit? Now, I know you're not speaking for all men, but since you're here, why does it seem difficult for men to commit to long-term relationships? And it just seems like a lot of guys are out here playing because it's a lot of women that's available.
There's a lot of women out here playing, but I mean, you know, don't take that the wrong way. I'm just saying there's two sides, you know, because both sides playing. But commitment is the two-way street. It's not just one person. Sometimes she's committed, he's not committed. He's committed, she's not committed. So, you know, I think you have to be on the same page.
Okay.
I don't think it's all the man's burden.
Okay, it's not all the men's.
I don't think it's
Tell
all-
us what you mean, Jim.
I don't think it's always the man's burden, because maybe some of the ladies know what I'm talking about. Maybe they have friends that go through this. I mean, I was dating. I had a couple dates a while back, and she was in a relationship for like 5 years and turned out to not be anything close to what she was thinking it was. She was totally deceived by the guy.
Okay.
So that hurt carries over to the next relationship sometimes if she moves too fast. You know what I mean? She might not be over that, and she starts catching feelings for the next guy, and the next guy got to pay for the last guy's sins.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, yo, no, I'm just here. I'm just trying to be nice. Well, you too nice. Well, you this. Something's got to be up.
Oh.
What you want from me? You know, I had somebody sit me down and say, if you think this is just going to be a booty call for you, forget about it. But it was because of that past deal.
Yeah.
Because that's what all he wanted her for. She found out after 7 years, that's what he wanted her for.
So let me say this. When you guys have people like that, they need some help, and send them my way. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking, because what we don't do a lot of times in relationships, we all are broken. We all have had betrayal, mistrust, a whole lot of things. People, we all need counseling. And we don't take that seriously. And that's why the baggage is drugged into every single relationship. And that, I have spent my life trying to help people to understand how to let go of their baggage and let go of the past. And out here in the single world, I'm just amazed that enough people, my door should just be full, it should be a waiting line. And that's not how it happens. People feel like, oh, they can figure it out themselves. But you really can't, because if you could, you wouldn't be in the space where you are and not content. So I'm just going, which is why I do what I do, so we can have a conversation. But sometimes there's deeper things that need to be healed before you go into another relationship. And I think that happens on both, because there's a lot of men that are broken as well. Now a lot of my clients are men. They're coming and they're saying, hey, I need some help, but I'm glad now that it's okay for men to come. But I'm saying that to all you ladies, this is what I do, this is why I'm here. So I'm glad you said that, because people do drag it, and now you pay for everybody else's sins. And what we do is we start to paint everybody with a brush. If you had two bad experiences with men, guess what? All men are like this. Oh, they all this, and don't have your friends have the same experiences. And y'all get together and y'all talk about the same 10 men. Every man is not like that. So that was good. So anybody else want to say something about that?
But just to circle back, that goes back to my whole thing about my previous occupation.
Yeah.
When they find out, sometimes when they find out that I did that, I'm in that box.
Yeah. And I can see
Like,
that.
oh, I gotta watch this movie.
Well,
or I don't want to deal with them because all athletes are this, athletes this, that. But the CEO of a company, the vice president of a company, somebody working at Whataburger could be the same way that you think that professional athlete could be.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of their opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
My opportunities might be different than this person's.
Yeah.
But he the same dude. I mean, not the same dude, but you get what I'm saying. Like, if he has X amount of opportunities, he's gonna have to weigh, you know, is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah.
Am I gonna risk this over here for that?
Tell them how you feel, dear.
Back up and forth. Okay. Here's another one. Now this comes up all the time. I don't know if y'all can answer this question for everybody. But can you just give us a general, because you're men, and women really need to hear this. Now we know that it's on both sides, so I know that's the first thing people say. But we would really want to know, and the question was repeated over and over again on these cards. I'm going to say it in a different way. What is it that makes a man cheat and not appreciate what he has and feels like that the grass is greener? So why does a man, not you all, I'm just saying, you speaking for your brothers. Why do men cheat?
I'll take this one.
Okay.
For the same reasons that women cheat.
Okay. We don't know. Okay.
And no. Let me clarify. I'll purify the water for a second.
Okay.
As human beings, damn the gender thing. As a human being, there are three things, and I alluded to this earlier when I said that I'm looking for somebody real. I am blessed and fortunate to have had someone where I could tell her, and y'all can believe that I'm bullshitting or not, but excuse me, but I had the ability to tell her my most inner thoughts, meaning those thoughts that you typically don't want to tell your girl because she gonna look at you like you stuck on stupid.
Yeah.
I had the ability to have that with her and not be judged, not be looked at like I was crazy or anything like that. Now, circling back around to the question as a whole, I don't feel like that we as men and women are real and honest with each other. We don't have those honest conversations about how we're evolving and how we're changing and how we're growing. And so what happens is that there's a need. You don't express that need goes unmet. That need goes unmet, now you're taking that person for granted, and now that person has a justification as to why they're going to start doing something different or step out on you as it's nothing hard. And unfortunately, old Slooper say, I'm a Christian, I'm sorry, I'm throwing it out there, but he always knows when to send that opportunity along when that whole 80-20 thing is going on. When, you got most of what you need, but that little bit that you're not getting, all of a sudden it appears. And because you feel taken for granted, and because you feel like that need is being unmet, now you found someone who's ready to meet that need. And it's so easy. You get caught into it, and before you know it, you're in a situation you never even meant to be in. It's really that simple. There's nothing hard about it.
Okay.
For real.
Okay. Any other man want to tackle that?
I will say that I agree with him to a certain degree, but I do not think men and women cheat for the same reason. Not to pick women's side, I think women cheat more because they're unhappy. Men more so will cheat because of an opportunity, at least I think. But also, from physiologically speaking, women tend to want to have sex more when they're close to ovulating, because the female, her reproductive cell is the egg. So you guys have it once a month. So close to ovulating time, you tend to want to have sex more.
So we have a higher libido at that time. That's what you're saying. Okay.
But men, our sex cell is a sperm. We make over 100 men every day.
100 men,
100 million sperm every day. So our sex drive, on a medical level, is higher than, our desire to procreate is more so, cell-wise. So more than likely, you might want to do more. For women also, your sex is most of the time your emotions. Men, our sex is entertainment. So we think about sex very, very often.
Right.
So maybe some studies saying 7 seconds.
Yeah, it's scientific. I've done all that research. Absolutely.
Right. So with that, I'm not saying it makes it right to cheat. I'm not making it right, but I'm just saying the likelihood is higher because our drive might be there. Like, hey, we need some type of sexual stimulation multiple times throughout the day.
Okay, so you're saying that men cheat because they have a higher sex drive.
I'm not saying you're right.
No. I'm just trying to put it. Yeah.
Like it kind of is.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I'm condoning. I'm just saying
the higher sex drive.
That drive might kind of make it, and like, especially as we get older, women might not as often as far as men, even when we're in our 80s, even when you can't, that desire might still be there.
So the higher sex drive. So basically, when men are cheating, they don't really have to care about the person. They just want sex.
In most cases, you don't.
Okay. Any other man want to jump in on that one? Mike says.
No, real quick. You're politically correct. But to be real, that is such an open question. I mean, if you ask everybody in there that question, you're probably going to get a different answer from everybody. But I'm just gonna give a scenario. You've been with this lady, y'all kicking it, y'all started out good, the sex was every day like rabbits. And then 5 years later, for whatever reason, maybe you gained weight. Maybe.
Or he gained weight.
Maybe he gained weight. Right.
Okay, he and Rosie, both of y'all eating. Both of y'all eating. Okay.
Right. I like that. Because when I talk, I like to talk both sides. But I'm just giving them a scenario. Maybe she gained weight, but long story short, she's not giving it to you. Does that give you a right to go out and cheat? No, it really doesn't. Because if you adhere to your vows and do what you're supposed to do, and of course. But that's real life is you want something. Like you talked about the, we like to do it. I'm sorry. It's not about something new, but I mean, if I'm not getting it, this is the point I'm making. If I'm not getting it and I want it,
you're gonna go out and find it.
I mean, if that happens, I mean, just something to think about.
Okay. So, no, go ahead.
She got a question over there. Okay.
Well, look.
Cheating is a character flaw because in my first marriage, I had every right to cheat because he was cheating, but I never did.
Yeah.
So I think cheating is a character.
Okay, she says cheating is a character flaw, and I agree because then it's all about discipline. Regardless of what you want, regardless of what you feel like you need, if you have the discipline to curtail that, then you don't. Okay.
Just to play devil's advocate, you can take the most disciplined soldier and you can put him out in the desert. You let him get thirsty enough, you don't know what the hell it is.
Thank you.
I hear you.
Okay, so what's your question?
My question is, at the beginning you were saying it was the communication, lack of communication and all of that. So if she did gain weight or you gained weight or whatever fell off, why is the first thing cheating instead of getting the conversation going? Or get the help that you both clearly need?
Right. He's not saying with the first thing. The question was
Cheating.
Because with a woman, with us it don't matter. You can cheat on the third thing, it's still the first thing does.
all right, but what I'm saying is you said that the first thing was cheating. The question was just the whole theory behind the cheating.
Right.
No one said it was the first thing. It could have been the 10th thing. And also, no one was, okay. But we're not saying who's better, who's worse. And also, there might be some women that might have cheated on the first thing. The question was why men did.
Yeah, so
Well,
she
we
said,
gave some, but
no.
well, I'll give you a better answer. How about this? It might be-
Wait.
What I'm saying is regardless of what memory is, what makes a person cheat versus communication.
Okay, so that's the question. So the question was, why do men cheat? So one of the answers was because, you know, the sex drive, you know, it's their opportunity, whatever. Your question is, to the panel, is why not have communication? So there's two separate questions. So I just want to make the clarity so it can be answered. So why is it, so now we know you have a higher sex drive, we know all of that, sometimes you're not getting it, you want to get it. Why not have the conversation and say, hey babe, this is not cool, we're not getting it, I'm needing that,
that's the assumption.
So you have the conversation.
Because that's the assumption.
Yeah.
Well, what's your question? So I'm saying your question was the assumption that communication is not done. But let's say the communication was done. So in most cases, that communication is done. Men might lack on certain communication, but when it comes to eating and sex, we're clear as hell with that. From the beginning, you already know that. We might lack on some other stuff. There's never been a man you've been with that wanted to do it, and you didn't know he wanted to do it.
Now, okay, so wait, let me jump in. Let me say this. I was involved in a relationship prior to my marriage, and we had a situation where I was placed in the desert. And I communicated. I communicated like hell. I needed to know what and how and when and where and everything else. And there was something going on with her that she didn't even know. Now understand, it's an individual thing, so I'm answering you as an individual. But it was a situation where the communication was there, but the behavior never changed. And after the behavior didn't change, and I don't mean like in a few minutes or a month, not even a year, it was several years. After the behavior didn't change, yeah. And was it right? No, but justification is a must. And at that point, I felt like I was justified in making sure that my needs got met, and that's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is look, I gotta stand up on this. The communication, this is what's so important. This is why I'm doing this, and I'm really excited right now. Because it's so important to hear what each other are saying. We ask a question, why do men cheat? They give you an answer. It might not be what you want to hear, but they're telling you why. They're telling you why men cheat. Not them. And if they had that experience, they're telling you why they did it. So we got to hear that. Now, there's going to be all kinds of situations. And when this one did this, or this one did that, or the woman did, or this, we know women cheat. It's all, people cheat. We're all humans. So we all fail, and if you haven't, the propensity to cheat is there. Like you said, put somebody on the island. So there's no judgment here. It's just trying to find the answer, because a lot of women have gone through this, and it hurts. And the betrayal that you feel, and you feel like you were given your all, it does boil down to communication. Even if the man communicated it how she heard it, or the woman communicated, and then there's a break that goes there. So this was a great example, so thank you very much for coming up and answering, and then me being able to say, this communication, this is why we're here. I want everybody, did y'all get all of that? They're answering, and we still have more questions, but, and that's okay, because that's why we're trying to get this together so we can have these hard conversations. Okay, so we know why they cheat. And men and women do cheat for different reasons.
Yeah.
It's not to say it's right. We're not doing any of that. We're just saying this is why. You all know their sex drive is a lot higher. They start when they start thinking about sex when they're 7 and 8. And I know, I'm gonna let you. We're gonna let the birthday
Maybe I'm doing too much talking.
We're gonna let the birthday boy answer.
But I never got my answer.
No, but I'm just saying, scientifically, they start at 7, 8, and 9. This is something they gotta deal with all their life. And I talk about this in my book. I'm like, you gotta understand we're built differently. And if we don't get that point about the sex thing, it'll keep relationships in the toilet all the time. It's always something about sex. So I think this is really, y'all see I'm all riled up. I'm passionate now. I'm just trying to say this is why we're doing this. Okay, so Jerry, we're gonna let the birthday boy say.
I mean, on one side of it, the two ages, right? Don't let your man leave out of the house hungry or horny. For two different reasons. Really.
Hungry or horny? I never heard it like that.
That's
You can't be hungry or horny.
Don't let them leave the house hungry or horny.
Okay?
All right? But it's more than that. Because what I've been hearing is a lot of excuses, right? And I'm not, fellas, y'all gonna hate me. If you cheat because it's poor communication, or if you cheat, you want to cheat anyway. You was ready to do it anyway.
Okay.
That's just your reason. Because the communication ain't got nothing to do with my loins. Nothing. Now, the communication can rile somebody up and get them, excited about another person, but it comes down to the affection. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing outside of that. So even if you ain't communicating and you're arguing and you're doing this, so I can fix that real simple. You're gonna put your leg over my leg tonight. We ain't gonna go to bed mad. You're gonna put your leg over my leg and we're gonna work it out somehow. And nobody, and we don't handle cheating like y'all handle it. Y'all handle it a lot better than we do.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Right. Y'all don't handle
I feel like I've already lost you if you cheat on me. Because I think it's most, and I'm assuming here, but I think most women have an emotional attachment to who, if they're gonna cheat on their husband,
Yeah.
they got an emotional attachment to this other guy.
Yeah.
It might not be, they might not love him like they love their husband, but it's something other than just the physical act.
Yes, yeah. That's true. Yeah.
It's something. And that's where it might be something that she might get over here.
Right.
But it's something more than just the physical act. And that's where I feel like I would get you.
Okay.
Right there. That's me to just be like, she ain't coming back.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna feel comfortable that this ain't gonna happen again. I ain't gonna be perfect for the rest of our time together.
Okay.
I just ain't gonna be perfect.
And you made a good point. So the man can cheat just because he wants sex, and he don't really say, it wasn't nothing. I don't love her. It was just sex.
Now sometimes you say that ain't true.
Well, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, a lot of times they can
for the
say
most
that,
part, yeah.
and we can't understand that because we have that ability.
We have that ability.
Yeah, you have the ability.
Like I said, it's coming full circle. Because like I said initially, I said, if you ask everybody that open question, why do men cheat?
Yeah.
You're gonna get a different answer. She's saying her ex-husband, she's saying communication, he's saying, I'm saying she might gain weight.
Yeah.
Full circle. So, it's
That's-
just open to get that.
Yeah, this
I
is,
ask somebody else, it'll be different.
yeah,
Because my husband, my boyfriend did this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
this
We cheat
always
for different
stirs up.
reasons.
Yeah,
Men cheat for different reasons.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna,
yeah, it's good.
it's gonna be every night we lay down on that pillow. I'm sorry.
No.
Every night we lay down on that pillow, I'm be like, did that other Negro do this?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Did that other Negro? What happened?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be in our brains as men. Be like,
Yeah, yeah.
basically, was he better than me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Once another guy's in your head, that's cheating. I'm not sure a headspace with my woman for some other guy.
Yeah, well, women don't want to share that either. I mean,
It's not,
yeah.
well,
Yeah, I'm just
the
saying.
guys know headspace. So like,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but like, men have a tendency to objectify women. So that woman across the bar, she's an object to us, just like, not to be rude, but like, if you have a toy in your drawer, the feeling you have of that toy in your drawer, that's how most men might feel about their girl at the bar. So it's no connection to her. It's just, you're gonna bring about this pleasure that I need. So you're not committed to your toy. Same thing to us with that girl we don't know. It's still wrong with women at certain, and a lot of men, it's like, even when we're faithful, it's not that we don't want to. It's I care about you so much, I don't want to hurt you. It didn't mean this is the last stop on the train I'm on.
Yeah.
It just mean I care about you so much, I don't want to hurt you, so I'm not going to do these things I want to do.
Okay.
However, because I'm willing to not do the things I want to do, baby, you're going to have to go ahead and look out for me a little bit, because it's on me right now. I want to, but I'm not, but I care about you.
Okay.
So the cheating with
comes
women
back
is a
full
little
circle.
Yeah, it all comes back full circle.
communicate, but again, by your sex drive is more emotional than mine. So if you had a bad day at work,
Yours is
you don't
physical.
want to do it.
Which is physical.
But
Yeah.
me, and I'm gonna sound rude once again, I've said it when I dated, like the most problems that men have, the fix for it is a blowjob. It doesn't mean it won't put money in my bank, but
Okay. Y'all hear what he said?
I mean,
Okay, wait.
I'm just saying.
Okay. This is another teachable moment. I need y'all to hear this. It's another teachable moment. So, I'm just looking at the reaction of everybody. Because, and I'm sure all of y'all on the panel could vouch for that, pretty much.
What was the question again?
Okay.
I will repeat myself.
So,
Oh, we know.
so repeat what you said.
I'm
and
saying
follow.
most problems that a man have, the fix for it is a blowjob. And what I mean by it will not get money in my account, but it will free my mind up to not think about the blowjob and not think about how to get money in my account. So you guys are connected emotionally with sex. So if you had a bad day, you might not want to be touched. If I had a bad day, I need to be touched as fast as possible so I can fix my day.
Okay, ladies, are you accepting of that? No. Who said no? Who said no? Okay, I did another teachable moment. Okay, we're gonna.
It's your honesty is to be applauded. Honestly, it's your honesty is to be applauded, and whether you believe it or accept it or whatever, your sheer honesty, all of you, whether it's authentic or authentic self, is to be applauded.
Absolutely. And so with that communication, Tara had a question about communication. And so, yeah.
Okay, so I'm Tara, I'm 53, and I have been married twice, very, very young. As I've gotten into being single, it's been 8 years. So the question I have about communication is, there's a lot of preconceived notions, there's a lot of, everybody has walls of, I've done all the online dating, I had to give up like 2 years ago, I was like, that's it. How do you guys think we get to where we can communicate better in this space of single people trying to make connections? How do we do better in communication?
First things first, speaking from someone who experienced trauma, deal with your stuff. First things first, you gotta deal with your stuff. Yeah, no. I'm not projecting anything, but the first thing you gotta do, and it doesn't have to be a trauma to the extent that I dealt with it, but like you said, you're going into a relationship, something happens in that relationship, you don't deal with it, you move on to the next relationship, you take the stuff that happened to you in that one to this one. Sometimes you project that on that person, sometimes you just go numb and you just don't really give a crap. That creates problems, that creates another setback. You take that on to the next one. So the first thing is you just deal with you deal with your baggage. Find out who you are. Start with knowing what you like, mentally, physically, sexually, emotionally, spiritually. Find out who you are. Get in touch with that. Then the next thing is and I don't know why we do this, but I don't think we give each other room to evolve in a relationship.
What do you mean by that?
Well, meaning, and my father, God rest him, taught me something at an early age. I didn't know what he meant at the time, but I got it later on. It was one of the aha moments. He used to tell me, check in with your wife. I said, Pops, what do you mean by that? He said, well, who she was yesterday, that's not who she is today. Something happened yesterday that caused her to have to adapt who she is today. So he used to say, check in with her every once in a while and find out where she is, who she is, how she's evolved. I think not only do we not give each other the latitude to evolve, but we don't give each other the latitude to express that. Because if it's something that's outside of our wheelhouse, or something we've never done, or something we don't think that we like, we shut them down. I don't do that. I don't do it. Well, wait, how do you know? Have you done it? Well, no. But you telling me no. You know, it's to me. My dad told me life is fluid. Life boils down to a bunch of simple, really easy decisions, but we don't make them good, and so it seems really complex, but it's not.
Can be better.
Got it.
Where we can.
I make this saying, you said, we should listen to comprehend and not to respond. So I think that's an issue most of us have, is I hear what you're saying, but I'm already planning something to say back without really listening to you. And we were talking in the back as well about, so we were saying how most of the questions you guys are going to ask, the question we've all heard before. And the scenario I used with that was saying, like, I'm out of shape. I have friends who are like trainers and work out all the time. And most of us will say to that guy who works out all the time, hey, what do you eat? How do you work out? All those different things. They're going to tell us the same thing. We all know what we should eat. We all know we should all work out. But we don't want to do that shit. So most of us really don't want to change our own ways. We want to hear somebody tell us, like, hey, do this. I was saying in the back, I want the trainer to tell me they got that six-pack by eating wings and drinking whiskey. Then I'm good. But it's kind of what they're going to say. They're going to say, you got to work out, you got to cut back on the bread, cut back on that.
Yeah.
So most of us, even us on the panel, you guys out there, any relationship problem, that shit couldn't get fixed. Most of us really don't want to make that change. So when someone says stuff like, hey, do this, do that, I don't want to hear that shit. And it's kind of like even with black-white relations. It's hard to tell the person who is holding you back that the person holding you back is them. They don't want to hear that. Think about the communication, right? You have to actually really want to make a damn change. If we all want to make a change, we got to really, it's like, but most of us really don't want to change.
So what you saying is I might be single for 8 more years?
No. This is really good. We have a couple more questions, and then we're going to be wrapping up. This question continued to come up, and you guys need to tell us if it's a myth, or this is just something that we've heard or a few women's experience. Are men insecure about women who are quote unquote strong women in a higher tax bracket, making more money? Does that make you as a man feel insecure about that woman and you'd rather get a woman that's more different? Let's say it like that.
So I would say it's absolutely a myth for some, but a fact for others. And I'm not trying to crush any woman. Most of us would really appreciate that woman that is independent and has her own. We all like that, but there's a difference. So when the woman says she has her own, or you hear on TV, I got that bag, I got that. It really don't mean nothing to most men, because if a man is saying he has it, we're saying, hey, I have it, which means I got you. Most women who are saying I have me, like I got me. So you may say 7 figures, 6 figures, and 5 figures, it really don't mean shit, does it? Because the reality is, it's your shit. So we're not intimidated by that because it's not going nowhere for me. So it's just you got your own, that's great. So
Okay, I want to hear Mike. What do you have to say about that, Mr. Mike? Are you intimidated? Are you feeling insecure, intimidated by women?
I mean, a lot of it depends on where you were raised, how you were raised. I mean, are you from New York City or are you from Texarkana, Arkansas like me? Our values are going to be a little different. You know what I'm saying? But to answer the question, I'm definitely not intimidated. She can make 2-3 times more as me. I'm going to be running bath water and drinking watermelon juice to make sure, we good in the bed. But no. But I think, like you just said, it's a myth for some, and it's reality for others. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, the more you make, the better for us. So,
So, Joel, do you think the men that it intimidates, that it goes back to their own insecurities about just them and themselves and their
I
life?
think men that are intimidated by something like money is intimidated by a whole lot of other things that go along with it. Exactly. They intimidated by dirty anything that they feel like it can be emasculated on any level.
Okay. I got a couple of, and I want you guys, we're going to end with one. So, somebody asked to the guy on the panel who was in the common law marriage for Jerry. No, I know. They're calling you out. Why did you not make that official?
I'm gonna start out with this. Great woman, great person, so on and so forth, and it was so juvenile and from the beginning on my end. I was playing ball, and here we go full circle to what I was saying earlier, and I wasn't ready to settle down, and I never wanted to be away from my son if I ever had it from a son or daughter, my child, and have a separate relationship. I never wanted that. So, met her in Philadelphia, blah, blah, blah. We got pregnant, and I was like, yeah, so what you want to do? She said, like, what you need? There's only one choice for me. I said, okay, well, let's do it. And I wasn't there, though, mentally or emotionally like that.
You just said it to make her happy.
I said, I'm not being away from my son or daughter, whichever one, but it ended up being the son. So, till he got off to college and everything, that's what it was. A lot of breakups in between, but move in, move out, all of that stuff. A lot of hold-ups on each other's lives. That's what happened. It's pretty simple, ain't that complicated, but that's what happened. But my son lived with me. He lived with me 5 days out of the week because of the school district, so on and so forth. And
but y'all hung in there that whole time to raise your son.
yeah.
But you didn't go ahead and make that commitment.
Because I still felt it wasn't going to be fair to her because eventually that's what was going to happen anyway. In my mind, or possibly, but I was holding on hope that something would change, but I couldn't make myself do.
Well, so, listen, I commend you for not doing something that you didn't want to do, or you were just doing it for somebody else's sake, even though you got what you
I loved her, but I wasn't. I loved her, and that's why I did it.
Look, that's going to bring up a whole nother
I love
question.
her.
Look, why do men, somebody else already asked that question, why then, let me just ask this, because I know they're thinking this. Yeah. So,
Who asked that question about me?
if you loved her, but you weren't in love with her, why would you just not let her go? Tell her that and let her go so she can find somebody to be in love with. No, I'm just asking you.
Okay, you asked me. Like I said, we broke up several times.
Yeah.
To where she was on her own doing her thing, but it didn't happen for her either.
Yeah. And she
Praise to you.
Oh, Mike, why have you never gotten married?
To your question, one of the reasons I've never got married because I've never met the woman that I feel I can spend the rest of my life with. That's number one. Number two, I mean, this might sound bad, being a Christian as I am. I think marriage is overrated. Because I know too many people married 2, 3 times. Well, my mom was married 3 times. So that's my experience. You know what I'm saying? Will I ever get married? Maybe. But if I don't, I'm not going to lose no sleep. And y'all need to get my new book. Marriage is overrated. No. Just kidding, but that's just me. I'm 60 years old, I've been married, and met some beautiful women, great relationships. I have 3 wonderful kids that are all good, but you know, it's just never been that important to me. Like I said, I've seen too much. When I was in the military, my friends beating their wives up, I'm beating them up for beating their wives up. I mean, it's just been a situation for me. So that's one of the reasons I've never been married. Will I ever get married? Maybe. You know, I'm only 60. So if I don't get married in the next 10 years, who knows, right? The average lifespan is about 70 for us right now.
Well, you know what, Mike? I commend you again. I commend you for not getting married just under the pressure because people think that you're supposed to be married. And then you say, oh, I've been married 2 or 3 times, and now you got the label of, okay, well, haven't you gotten it right? You know, there's so much to say, I want to say, but I'm just going. This is about y'all. Okay, so we're wrapping this up. Everybody don't have to answer, but what is your ideal date? Because there's ladies out here, and who knows, you might be going on a date with some of them. Some of them. Have y'all watched Ready to Love? Yep. Anybody watch that? You know you can be dating a whole bunch of people at one time, so I just want y'all to say, don't be feeling like somebody asked you out on a date, they're yours. Is it not? It's exploratory, okay? I just want to put that out there. What is your ideal date? Who wants to take that? Go ahead, Jerome. What's your ideal date? Now, he's the chef now. Jerome, what's your ideal date?
I'm unconventional, and I've been blessed because of what I do to be able to do a lot of traveling because of it, and on somebody else's dime and out. So for me, let's get unconventional. Let's jump the shelf and go somewhere together. Take both of us out of our element and get real. Let's talk about some things. Let's eat some things. Let's drink some things.
Let's eat?
Yeah.
Because he's a cook. He's a chef now.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's get out there.
Sound good.
Let's go look at. Let's go experience some different cultures. Let's really get to know each other.
Okay, all right, different cultures. Okay, Mike, I want to hear, because you've been down here not talking a lot. Dr. Fred been talking a lot. I want to hear what your ideal date.
I'm a water guy, so the beach, opening the blinds, looking out at the water, some good drinks, good food, good conversation. Just simple, you know, I'm simple.
So where you gonna find a beach around here? Oh, okay, so your ideal date is traveling, the water, the beach, okay. Okay, Dr. Fred, what's your ideal date?
I mean, both of their dates will kick my day in the ass.
Yeah.
I'm simple. I just want someone who's gonna be fun and cool and where whatever we want to do, we just do it. I don't have it. I mean, I would love the beach, but shit, I'm gonna say on my damn date. We can have a date right there at that bar, right there, laughing and talking trash, having a good time. We didn't know each other. I would like the beach, but we go, but I can't swim no way, so let's do the bar back here.
Okay, so we can go bowling. We can go to Strike and Reel. Okay, Jerry, what's your ideal date?
Oh, now you want to ask me a question. But, I don't, well, both of their ideas are great, and everybody seems to love their ideas. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going to Aruba if I don't know you like that.
Okay.
I just ain't. Okay. I know what I'm going to want to at least, something's going to, I mean, you know, I'm going to be expecting something. If you ain't feeling that same way.
That's real. That's
No. All that's gonna be worked out beforehand.
So,
And I'm sorry if nobody agrees, but I ain't going to Aruba with somebody I don't really know.
okay, so,
If I know, you mean no. That's your thing. You mean no.
okay,
It's a biblical no.
so, the ideal date then, you still didn't answer.
Oh, it's simple for me. I mean,
What is it?
I mentioned it earlier. It could be fishing. It could be and just having us conversating, having fun, and her learning something, and her maybe teaching me something. It could be top off. It could be whatever.
Okay.
It don't matter. It ain't gotta be across the country. I mean, across the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Go to the movie.
We can do that later.
Okay, all right.
Oh, that's not.
Okay, wow.
Maybe a show off.
Everybody,
You gotta show off.
let's give these men a round of applause. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for opening up yourselves. Thank you for being real. Thank you for telling us your truth. I believe when Dr. Fred said that, and I wanted to start out with that, we could all learn what we need to know if we understand how to listen, to understand and not listen to respond. The older I get, the more I understand how important it is to just keep your mouth closed. We don't have to say anything. If you're listening and somebody's talking, listen to what they have to say. Listen to where they're coming from. This is on both sides. And then sometimes you don't even have to respond. Say, let me sit with that a moment. Instead of us, it's just back and forth and women and men, and I just hear so much negativity all the time. And it's like, gee, help us. I'm like, it's kind of like, I think Dr. Fred said, if we really want to make a change, you can. You want to get in a better space, you can. But it takes some work to do that. So we appreciate you all again coming out here, and we're excited about this beginning. You guys were on our premiere show. And so we're just getting started, guys. And my hope and prayer is that we make love connections. When people get ready, like Jerome said, to build, they're seriously looking for that right person. I'm hoping that through what we're doing, that we do make some connections and that people find their person. I'm a true believer of that. And so we just never know what's going to happen. So once